What are your favorite offices that you've held?
Mine is I my favorite is Regent. I love Regent so much because it's purely whatever you get out of it what you put into it. There's so little expected of a Regent. Like Capora wise, at least in the NL Capora, there's like two things that you're actually responsible for. You're not on that triad of deciding whether or not to ban people or can we spend this money on it. You're not part of that group, so you're there in the Kingdom Monarchy, but the job is really what you make of it. So coming up with something to fill the time that engages people and pushes the arts and science is challenging. I like that.
It's also my favorite office. I think part of it is that is most definitely one of the reasons that I like it. It's what you get, what you put into it is what you get out of it, and part of that is you get to be creative and do things, but you don't have the pressure, the added pressure that like the monarch has. There's a certain level in my mind where there's less anxiety involved with being a regent, and therefore I enjoy it more. I enjoyed monarch. There's like a big high risk reward. Like if you do a really good job at monarch, you feel really good about it. But if, it's really easy to mess up because there's so many moving parts
And there's a
that it's
every single
stressful.
eye is on you for six
Hmm.
months waiting for you to mess something up.
I'm going to tag in here for a hot
Yeah.
second.
Yeah,
It's
go for
actually
it.
why I love it the most. So I come from a background. I've been a cook, or I guess to some degree, I guess you could call me a chef these days because I've ran restaurants. Um, I love being in those high stress environments. I can handle them really well. I love organization, especially like the organization of a team. One of my goals eternally is to be there to support people, and Monarch really, I find I love it so much because it allows me to put that support in to make sure that the rest of my team have the most success they can ever have.
Doing feasts in event running, I like the high pressure stakes of that. But it's a lot easier for me to be excited about those high pressures because it's a lot more controlled and it's less of a community effort to a degree. I mean, it's all community effort, but it's Monarch is just there's just so many moving parts and people you have to be open to everyone within reason. Unlike being a cook in the kitchen, you don't have to deal with most people, but it's still a high stress, high pressure environment. But I just don't do it very much anymore. Uh,
That's fair. It's a lot of stress.
it is.
Like doing two terms at kingdom level as the king now. There's a lot of elements that you don't really expect going into it. I can definitely say, like, and my kingdom knows this as much as any other. I came in during, a dumpster fire, which means even more of just helping people, right? And calming fires, which also meant I was in meetings for probably 4 days out of my 7 days a week.
Yeah.
But there's something special about being able to help people through that as well, right?
Yeah. No, it just reminded me of when I was king. This is before you guys were kingdoms. So I was still technically over the Principality of Northern Lights and there's Stormhaven, I think, at the time. But basically VO. And especially in Northern Lights, I had a lot of internal park conflicts that I had to deal with, and I had to be a mediator. Something I didn't really expect going into Monarchy the first time as at the kingdom level. And so I had to broker like I wouldn't call them peace treaties or anything so dramatic, but had to had to get people to talk and open up and get rid of all the hearsay and just solve some inter conflict problems up in the north. And yeah, I felt really rewarding to like get these people that were like bitter rivals in the Amtgard community to like sit down. Oh, we completely miscommunicated about what we were talking about. We're basically talking about the same thing and want the same stuff. And so it was really rewarding to help in that regard.
Right?
Something you don't get as regent very often because you're not a conflict resolution manager.
You get to hang out in the background, which is also the nice part.
Oh, you
Yeah.
get to hear all about it, but then the monarch has to go deal with it. You're like, man, that sucks. Have
Yeah.
fun.